They can help us find the... Back in the cupcake!
Right behind you! Go, go, go!
What? All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon coming to you, an administrator from the U.S. state of Georgia, and I'm taking a look at another Victorious episode. This one is called Terror on Cupcake Street. I don't really know what this one is about. I didn't really read any plot summaries or anything like that. I see here in this randomly selected still frame, they appear to be in class. This is just Tori and Kat just kind of sitting here looking at something or someone. I don't get many clues for this one, so I have no idea what we're in for, but I can't wait to take a look at it here with you. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, you know what to do, particularly if you like this Victorious series and you tune in every Tuesday to watch it every week. Do subscribe using the button below. I really appreciate it, and you won't miss any of my future content. But let's get into this episode.
I don't want to argue with you. I just want us to be happy.
What?
What'd she say?
What'd he say?
I can't hear.
Okay, take him up.
All right. See? And I love it how so many times in this show, the episode begins with them doing some sort of zany acting or improv exercise, which does happen. Most of you know this. In case you're new here, I spent 2 years of my administrative career as an assistant principal at an art school, exactly like Hollywood Arts. And it's really striking just how similar some of this stuff is to my experience at an art school being an administrator. But it often opens with these crazy scenes, and I don't know what the instructions were. I can't wait to see what Siekowitz's feedback is on this one, or what he told them to do in the first place. Let's see.
Not so easy to perform a scene when you have a bucket on your head, is it?
Yeah.
No.
It's difficult.
Well, class dismissed.
But we still have more time.
How much?
55 minutes.
Oh, well, actually, I do have something I need to discuss with some of you.
What?
Tori, Kat, Andre, Robbie, Jade, please stay. The rest of you, they wander the halls.
That's a potential firing. I was kind of just waiting. I heard him say that class is dismissed, and then they told him they have 55 minutes left, which is the majority of the class. Most classes in high school are either going to be an hour or an hour and a half, depending on whether they have year-long classes or what we refer to as block schedule, where you have typically 4 classes per semester, but then the next semester you have different classes because you squeeze the whole course into one semester only, and different schools do it different ways depending on where you are. But he is releasing almost the whole class, or much of the class, to wander the halls, and he himself said wander the halls, which is a big problem and a potential firing. Siekowitz, you can't do that.
Why did you make them leave?
They never talk.
Yeah, because they're extras, Siekowitz. They're not main characters. And he could have just waited until after class. I've seen 2 or 3 examples in this series where he dismissed everyone at the proper time, and then he asked Tori or whomever to stay after class. I remember that clearly in the Diddly Bops episode, and also the one where Tori does stunts or tries to do stunts. I think that one was called Beck Falls for Tori. Both great episodes. Check them out if you haven't seen them. All my Victorious reactions are on the playlist seen here. Anyway, he should have just dismissed class at the proper time and asked them to remain if he wanted to discuss some opportunity with them. But let's see what he says.
Yeah. They just sit there and react.
That's right.
Yeah, because the scriptwriters wrote it that way, Tori.
So what do you want with us?
Who likes parades? So, you all know about the woman I've been dating, Felicia?
No, I don't.
Well,
Hey,
anyway,
Siekowitz.
she's the creative director of this year's Parade.
Parade?
I've never heard of that.
Exactly.
And I almost gave him a potential firing there. He probably shouldn't have said it like that, but if he says that really solely to introduce this parade or whatever he's going to pitch to them, I guess that's all right. I thought he was going to delve into how the relationship is going, but if he just says that, that's probably fine.
It's a parade to help raise awareness of parades.
I've never heard of that before, have you? A parade awareness parade. That I've never heard of.
Anyway, I sort of promised Felicia I'd get some of my most creative students to build a float and perform.
And he needs to watch that. I'm almost giving him a potential firing again. That little pat or whatever that was, Sikowitz, you can't do that. He would receive some discipline probably for that. Would he be fired? Probably not, unless he makes a habit of it.
So, who would like to...
Okay.
How about the rest of you? Would you guys like to build a float and do a little song in the parade? For sweet Daddy Sikowitz?
And you know what? This is just making me feel a little too weird. The sweet daddy or whatever he said, it's just a little too out there. That combined with that physical contact a minute ago, that's another potential firing, Sikowitz. You can't behave like this, Sikowitz. You're a good teacher in some ways, but your behavior is awful. And I'm not surprised that they're a little hesitant because I remember, again, in Diddly Bops that he offered them $1,000. And whenever they would talk about it or right before the performance, he said something about, oh, this is wonderful that you all are choosing to do this. And they're like, $1,000, right? So that was the reason they were doing it, not because they wanted to be charitable for that kid's birthday party.
All right, if you don't want to be on national television, where all kinds of Hollywood producers and casting directors will see you, that's coodly-doo with me.
Yeah, he knows how to push their buttons here.
Parade float. Ideas.
What do we have so far? Let's see. Oh, we have two. A tribute to the fruits of Mexico and need good idea for float.
Yeah, this is another instance of a teacher giving them a really, really open-ended assignment. Granted, this is not really part of Hollywood Arts or the acting program or any assignment, really. He just wanted them to participate in this parade and have a float, but I don't remember him saying anything about what the parade's theme is except for parade awareness, so it could be about literally anything. I do remember Sikowitz saying he wanted them to sing. In my mind, the float doesn't even really have to have a theme in particular. They could just, you know, sing whatever song they wanted or make it about a particular genre of music or something like that. Kids building a float, I have seen that many times before, but it's usually going to be sponsored by a particular club or sport or some sort of organization that's affiliated with the school. I've also seen a lot of homecoming representatives or prom people that want to be prom king and queen. If it's around that time of year, they will do that. You'll see like a sports car riding down the road with the person, you know, waving, hoping that the kids will see and want to vote for them. But I've also seen all sorts of other school organizations have a float. But in this case, Sikowitz just told them, hey, make a float and be in this parade so that you can sing a song for his significant other, I guess, which raises some other questions. But I didn't hear him say it was a grade or that they were required to do it. He's just giving them this little opportunity, much like several of the other instances I've seen on the show, where he gives them little acting gigs or tips like that.
Why don't you just pick an idea?
Okay, so who's gonna pick?
Well, luckily, I have the new Pear Pad app called...
And that Pear Pad, I've seen it a few times before. It is huge. I don't know if it's kind of poking fun at the iPads that did, you know, in this era tend to get bigger and bigger, and this thing is pretty massive. And I see the app here, Spin-a-ma-jig, and I've seen many apps like this. I've actually seen a couple of them used a lot in classrooms. I actually have recommended to teachers one called Wheel of Names, where you basically spin a wheel with everybody's names in the entire class on it, and whoever it stops on has to answer the next question or come up to the board or whatever it is that the teacher is doing, and that way it randomly selects someone and no one can say, well, you're singling me out or whatever.
Spin-a-ma-jig.
Oh boy.
Oh my god! It stopped on my face! So you get to pick what our float's gonna be.
And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, on a positive note, it probably will be positive, you know, the idea, but I've heard her come up with some crazy things. I remember on the episode Prom Wrecker, she was wanting to make the theme of the prom something crazy. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something just crazy. And a couple of times she's come up with an idea whenever they have to think of something or an idea for something. It's always something way, way out there. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this.
So what's it gonna be, Kat?
A giant cupcake?
A giant cupcake?
Yes, and it just dawned on me, the title of the episode, that makes total sense. And, you know, Psychowitz had the same thought as me here, obviously. I've never seen a giant cupcake float.
We don't want to wear these.
And you know, I didn't think about it. I saw them using the little power tools there. I could see them being able to do that, especially Robbie and those students that are theater tech students, because that's what they do. I've mentioned several times in this series that they do typically use power tools and build sets. It used to make me, as an assistant principal, very nervous when they did those things. I was just hoping that no one got hurt, which I don't remember anyone getting seriously hurt in that way. Now, my question that is kind of raised in my mind is about them doing this on school campus. So obviously this is the little cafeteria area that they have. I forgot what they call it, but it's on school campus. And if I remember correctly, Psychowitz was pretty clear this is not a school deal. This is just his significant other that is wanting them to do this. So it's a little dubious them doing this on school campus. If I were the principal, I would probably not allow them to do that or be very hesitant, because it's not a school thing. And if you allow it, then you accept some liability for whatever happens here.
Why don't you guys like your costumes?
What?
Why?
It's candy.
They're candy jammies. They go perfect with our cupcake theme.
I mean, I guess, but, you know, I could understand them being a little hesitant to wear that.
You know she wants us all to wear them. I will pop your head like a zit.
Graphic.
And Jade, you need to be careful there about the threat making here. It's funny, she said they were fine at first, but now that she knows that she has to wear one too, that's a little bit different.
Hi!
Psychowitz.
Ooh, your float is looking gigantically delicious. You gonna finish in time?
Yeah, we're gonna work all night if we have to. We'll get her done.
Excellent. Felicia will be so excited.
He needs to be careful here. This is one of these episodes where I'm wondering how many potential firings we're going to get. I don't feel great about this, but, you know, so far this is not one. I'm a little nervous about them working all night, as she said. That would be a real issue depending on how, where, and when they did that. But let's keep going. Psychowitz. What was that? What do you call that, Psychowitz? That's not a firing. That's just weird. Okay, looks pretty good.
This cupcake?
Are we to believe they created this in like one day? That's a little hard to believe. It does look very, very good, but that's a little hard for me to believe.
It's done.
Cupcake power!
And it is dark, so obviously they didn't go all night, but they did work into the evening. But Psychowitz is there, so I don't have a huge issue with that.
Time?
Oh, it's 1:20 a.m.
Ooh. And, you know, that would kind of be an issue. I'm not saying that's a potential firing either. Notice on this episode, we're having an awful lot of close calls. Now, I'm going to assume, I can only assume, that all of the parents said that was totally fine. You know, stay out as late as you want, as long as there's a school staff member there and you're at the school and you don't go anywhere else. You can stay and work on the float as late as you need to. After 1 a.m. is really, really late for any kind of school activity. The only exception I can really think of that comes to mind easily is long-distance athletic events. When I was a teacher, I was a band director, as you guys know, and there were some very, very late nights, depending on how far away the away game was. But stuff like this, even prom does not go quite that late. This is really late for them to be at school, but as long as the parents know and they consent and Psychowitz is there, then there's probably no issue.
Okay, then we better get going now. We don't have to check in till 7. This thing only goes like 4 miles an hour and
7.
the parade is in Pasadena.
If we leave now, we'll probably just barely make it.
All right, people?
So they're going to pull an all-nighter? I do not feel good about this at all. I keep telling myself this is not affiliated with the school, but yeah, they're doing this on school campus, and it sort of feels like a school thing, but it's not. Let's just move on and see what happens before we pass judgment on it.
Here are the keys to the cupcake.
Oh, no. I can't drive that thing with you kids in it. I have a semi-suspended driver's license.
Yeah, and, you know, that would probably be an issue as well, having him by himself, driving them at 1 a.m. It just raises a lot of potential issues. And he says he has a suspended license, so he can't drive it. So my other question is, who is going to drive it. This is raising a lot of safety concerns, but let's keep watching.
Why did it get suspended?
Well, see, I was driving through Vegas with these people I met at the circus. And,
What?
We'll let Beck drive. Let's not talk about it.
And he needs to watch it with the stories as well. I'm glad he stopped. Okay.
How do I see out of this thing?
Yeah. So this is definitely going to be a potential firing, Sikowitz. You cannot just let Beck drive all these kids down the road at 1:20 in the morning or whatever he said. That is definitely a potential firing. And even with like athletic events and other clearly school sanctioned activities, there are often a lot of regulations about how, where, and when students are transported. In other words, are they on a bus? How many staff members are on the bus? Is there just one person and they're driving and that's it? Are they taking a smaller vehicle? But a student driving them all, that's going to be a potential firing, Sikowitz. He cannot allow that. And if he can't drive, then they don't go. They would have to get another staff member or someone else to drive that from the school to wherever the parade is being held.
Hey, what's in that sack? I don't know. Well, I swear it just moved. Ow! Oh!
Trina. I do remember seeing her sneaking around earlier. I didn't realize she had gotten into the cupcake. And this is even more of a safety concern, them not knowing that she was there. In fact, that's another potential firing, Sikowitz. He is the adult in this situation. You may be saying to yourself, it's not his fault that she snuck in there, but he's the adult in this situation. For whatever happens on this thing, he is responsible for the safety of these kids, and having Trina sneak in there, and I don't know if her parents know where she is, and Sikowitz is there, and even though it's not, it feels an awful lot like a school-sanctioned activity because they built this thing on school campus, and Sikowitz is with them, and he's all of their teacher. This is another one, Sikowitz, I'm sorry. Uh-oh.
Oh my God!
Flat tire.
What was that?
Fun neighborhood.
Yeah, and this is part of the issue, the safety issue, and them traveling by themselves so late at night. I'm not going to give him yet another potential firing, not yet anyway. We're just going to sort of wrap that into some of the other ones he's gotten. But yeah, this is one of the several reasons that you don't do this.
Yep, we got a flat tire.
Do we have a spare?
We don't
A
even.
spare tire for a cupcake? That's kind of crazy. Ooh.
Hey, here come some guys. Maybe they can help us. Hey, fellas!
Uh-oh.
Maybe they can help us find the. Back in the cupcake!
Behind you! Go!
What?
Open the door!
Do you see anything?
I see a guy on the sidewalk petting a little dog.
And I don't know why they don't call the police. That's a little weird. I mean, they all have pair phones. I've seen all of them have phones and use their phones at different times for different things. I don't know why they couldn't call someone to come help them.
Yeah, hi. We have a flat tire. Could
There
you
we
please send a
go.
tow truck? Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was wondering, why don't they just call someone? So Tori does, but how in the world are you going to tow this thing? Did you all see how big it was? The tow truck is going to show up and just sort of laugh at them. Like, we can't move this thing. Like, what do you want us to do?
We're on the corner of Spates and 83rd. Yeah, how long do you think it'll take for you to... Hello?
They refuse to come.
Hello? He hung up.
Yeah, they hung up immediately after she told them where they were, which I'm guessing they consider that too dangerous of an area or something. I don't know. I don't know that I've heard of that too much, but I suppose there are probably places in larger cities that towing companies may decide not to go. I don't know how that works as far as them being required to respond to all calls like that if they're going to be a towing company. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you know.
I think there's a 24-hour price go on Spates. I'll jog up there, buy a tire, and be back in 30 minutes.
He's going to
You
leave.
sure you want to be running through this neighborhood at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, not only that, but is he leaving them by themselves? Let's see.
The thing I'm afraid of is fear, and the guy who installed my satellite dish.
What? What's he doing? Okay. He has abandoned them at 1 or 2 in the morning on some random dangerous street. That's a potential firing. Another one, Sikowitz. I don't know what we're up to at this point, but again, I'm sure the correct number is up here on the screen. He can run. And you see this, I mean, they are still children. I mentioned in another episode or another video, they don't like being called that, but technically it's true. I mean, they are teens in high school, they are children, and they do get scared. Everybody, I think, would be scared in this kind of situation, and Sikowitz has abandoned them. That would be a firing. It really would.
Oh, officers, I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah. What you doing running around this neighborhood in the middle of the night, huh?
Well, I was on my way to the parade, riding along with a bunch of children in a giant cupcake.
Uh-huh.
Now, next thing I know, one of the cupcake's tires goes pop. And why are you taking out your handcuffs?
Uh-oh.
I don't understand what's happening. Why are you arresting me? There are 7 children in a cupcake who need me. Help!
There's no children in a cupcake.
Yes! They're wearing candy pajamas.
So I'm guessing they think he is having some sort of mental health issue, I guess, here. I'm not an attorney or anything like that, so I can't speak to the legalities of them arresting him. But, I mean, he is saying some pretty crazy things, and he did abandon the kids there. So I can't speak to the whole him being arrested, but he's gotten quite a few potential firings here in this video. I will say, however, that the simple fact of him being arrested while around the kids, while it's not a school trip, it feels an awful lot like a school-sanctioned activity. The fact that he is arrested in the midst of all this is by itself a potential firing. I've mentioned to you several times that educators do have a higher standard of behavior, and part of that is reporting arrests, which very often do lead to disciplinary action and or firing, depending on what you are arrested for and what exactly happened, and if it had anything to do with children. And in this case, it most certainly did, because he, well, went off and abandoned them. So just for him being arrested like this during the time that he is supposed to be taking the kids to this event, that's a potential firing.
On you! That was real. Get on you! Get back over here. I didn't do anything.
I've never seen someone arrested in the back of a police vehicle with the window down like that, probably for this very reason, but that's sort of crazy.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How much was this fetch, huh?
And he's still handcuffed.
I can't. This thing just fell off the building and cut its own wire.
What's he doing? Nah.
I like this. Hooligans!
And even though, again, this is not a school-sanctioned activity, I'm going to argue simply because of the way that it's done and Sikowitz's involvement that he needs to be with them the entire time. And this is why. This is part of the reason why he received a potential firing for abandoning them earlier.
Yes! Okay, cover your ears!
Okay. I'm guessing that was for the parade.
I think it worked.
That's pretty good. I'm guessing they had a little graffiti effect for the parade, and that scared them off. I don't know if that would just scare them all off in real life, but it seems to have here.
We just need some help changing the tire. Do you guys know how to change a tire?
I don't know if I would have asked them that, at least not like that.
We know how to change a tire.
Well, terrific.
And you want to make sure these lug nuts are nice and tight.
Of course, they just changed the tire without incident.
Do you want to come to the parade with us?
Could we?
Yeah, and I'm giving Sikowitz another potential firing for this. In organizing this with them and going with them and helping them to build it or supervising them building it on school campus, I would argue he has responsibility for this entire venture and whatever happens within this venture, including letting these random people ride with them, and he's not even there. So, Sikowitz, that's yet another one.
Wait, Daddy!
We got a Caucasian westbound on Spates!
Send back up!
I guess that's it. All right, that's the episode. I honestly don't know how many potential firings we got up to, but here's the number right here on the screen. And honestly, any one of those would have gotten Sikowitz fired on its own, but all of them together, that's sort of insane. Even though I think technically it wasn't a school trip, Sikowitz organized it, Sikowitz went with them, and I would argue Sikowitz is responsible for anything that happens to them on that trip. I'm going to end the video here, though. I really enjoyed that episode. It was a pretty good one. I would give it probably a 7.5 out of 10. It was all right. It gave me a few laughs, but it wasn't my absolute favorite, but still some things to talk about here with Psychowitz and his craziness on this episode. If you're enjoying this reaction series of Victorious, let me know in the comments. Many of you have already mentioned how much you look forward to these each week. If you do that and you're not subscribed, take a minute and subscribe using the button below. I really appreciate it. I mentioned earlier that all of these are also on the Victorious playlist. I will continue to put each one of those on there so that when the series is finished, you can see them all on that playlist. I think we're almost at the end of season 2. I can't believe it. Only one more season to go. Hopefully you stick with me as we finish this series. But I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching until the end, and I'll see you on my next video here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.